By Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Now George Springer, who's fastballs in this game.
Good 1-0 change up there.
On the other side, where Bassitt is doing the pushing of the buttons, call strike to Springer, 2-2. You would think with a counting nods agreement, 3-2 coming to Springer, and he got him looking. Fastball on the reacting. There's Will Wagner with 2 out, and he goes after a first pitch slider, 0-1. That's Days has struck out his first 2 at bats, and Wagner takes low and in. Ball on a strike.
Definitely, no one wants to get hit, and he can come back with a changeup after that.
And he falls behind on Wagner. And Wagner takes a fastball strike. Not going to get a better pitch to hit than that.
Well, he caught him guessing. You know, these Blue Jays hitters read the scouting report from Houston also. They read that he threw his.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at bat. And that slider's bounced along the line, and Alonso can't get to it. Evaded through a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings. Through 8 back at the plate with a 3-2 count. And he fouls off another slider.
2 things you don't want to happen as a hitter.
Hall of Famer. 3-2 coming, and it's lifted foul. I mean, the Billy Wagner story was one of the greatest of all time. Young man, I mean, just spectacular. And Wagner takes it low, ball 4. He is long. Miles Straw takes a pitch at the top of the zone for a strike. Well, that. And Straw takes up and away, ball and a strike. See, speaking of, they're now 9-1, and that fastball just missed, 2-1. So 2-1 on the way. On the ground, Lindor to his left, scoops and flips, and that retires the side.
Couldn't even hear what you guys were saying because there was so much crowd noise behind me.
Okay. Pete Alonso takes a strike. Pete's Gators are in a battle. I mean, I am just shocked at how many people showed up today on a miserable weather night. You know, the stands are empty and just waiting for the weather to warm up. 2-2 from Bassitt to Alonso. And Pete again.
Later, he throws a pitch down to Alonso and gets it for the strikeout. More respect.
Ball on the strike to Nimmo. Bassett's been a little more efficient than Canning so far. There's a good cutter in on his hands, and it's 1-2. It's in 23, and so far tonight, 2-2 now to Nimmo. Nimmo gets one off the hands out to right center field. Straw ranges back and puts it away. Right-hander with that arsenal. As Winker lines one to right, and that's in front of Springer, and it gets on by him, and Winker's off to the races. He's going to round second and go to third. And
one on Springer. Could not get his whole body in front of it to block it. So once it got through, Winker.
Bassitt off the stretch with a runner at third. So I was going to add 25.
If you hit like Vientos did last year, he'd survive for me too. Interesting, the first 2 pitches, Bassitt went right after him with hard stuff.
Winker at third with 2 out. And Vientos lays off the curveball, 1-2. To some extent. He has had more pitch clock violations than any player in baseball.
That's right. Looks like he might have a contact issue. I would know that because I wore contacts when I played.
Bassitt seems to have rectified the problem. Not scoring. Vientos, Florida kid, has that hood up over his mouth. With Winker at third, and Vientos fouls off the slider, and it's still 2-2.
And then you got Bassitt.
2-2 coming. And he struck him out, got him with a cutter. So Bassitt able to work out of trouble again. He's got 6 strikeouts. The number 9 hitter walked his first time up and takes first pitch slider changeup for a strike, 0-1. RBI double, and that eventually was the difference in a 2-1 game. And it's called strike, and it's 1-2 in that game as well. Pulled on the ground out toward first, just past Alonso and into right field. Soto has to charge it hard on the wet. Dots one on the outside corner out yesterday. And he lines this one over the glove of Lindor and into left side.
The American League hits twice. You don't miss that pitch.
So Canning is out after 4 innings plus. Called. Bassitt now the runner at second. Guerrero at first, and that's driven out to right. Soto giving ground, but he'll get there to make third. First and third, 1 out. And the first pitch slider misses away for ball 1. Raced the idea that he's no longer a starting pitcher, but he certainly understands that this is what will keep him in the big leagues. He's to this team as a multi-inning reliever. Behind 3-0, and he pours in a strike.
Gary, most with.
Pulled on the ground, just foul. 3-2. So you're saying that it's going here, and Butto checks in on him. Not going, and Jimenez fouls back the slider.
And I think because of those strikeouts
a couple of times in this inning, and Jimenez takes the slider for ball 4.
To me, this would be a reminder from Hefner to Butto. Your changeup's your best pitch, so at some point you got to get to that, especially against.
Butto throws the next pitch, and Kirk tries to hold the swing on the slider, but he went around 0-1 inside, and Kirk takes up and in 1-1. Distinctly in or out.
Well, there was a time the most important thing.
One foul backing out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's at first, and Kirk goes down swinging on a high, hard one. Had a hand slip. Here's George Springer, and he takes a slider out of the strike zone for ball 1. Springer was up twice against Canning, and it's 1-1. And now Butto trying to put the door in the closed position, and he gets that slider in for a strike to Springer, and it's 1-2 coming to George Springer. Ground ball left side past Vientos, grabbed by Lindor on a hop to first, in time, side retired. Lead faces Brett Beatty leading off the bottom of the 5th, and Beatty fouls off a first pitch sinker, 0-1. It's yesterday, 3 today. Beatty fouls off a high cutter. Doing it against the Mets again.
Well, we showed that he has a 7-pitch mix. He's throwing a lot of fast.
And he yanks one foul. Nothing. And now 10 as he gets Siri looking. So back-to-back strikeouts looking for Bassitt. And he takes cutter for a strike. Sanger grounded out to second base his first time up. 2022, he was great. And now the Mets, for the second time since, have failed. Fool has decided to run on the field and get arrested.
At some point, I mean, I heard this. I don't know if this is true, but between the lawyers.
Well, Chris Bassitt will hope that it doesn't mess too bad. Thank you, security. Those guys take great care of us.
Yes, they do.
They even got new shirts this year. Next. And Bassitt throws one up and away. 2-2. Bassitt has not walked about. I mean, there are only 9 buttons, I believe, on the pitch com. Swing and a miss, and he gets him with a sinker. And so
very nice.
Yeah, it's a little big, but it works.
Grounded on the right side by Will Wagner, and Beatty throws him out one away.
All right, I'm giving it back to Mr.
It's amazing how many secrets Mr. Met has that you can't reveal.
Well, it's 1 for 2 tonight. And he takes a slider for a strike. Butto throwing a ton of sliders in this game. And nobody is throwing in the Toronto bullpen. Chopper behind the mound. In comes Lindor. The quick throw to get the speedy Straw. 2 out. Good call tonight. Fly ball foul down the left side, and Nimmo will watch it go. And Roden smacks one toward the gap in right center field. Soto chasing back, and it's off the base of the wall. Jeremy Hefner out to the mound.
It's interesting. He came out to the mound when Canning
A pitch during this outing.
Yeah, you feel that you don't want to get beat with the third pitch, right? Slider being his third, but he just
sit in the middle of the Toronto rally in the 5th. And Butto misses upstairs with a fastball for. And Butto fires a fastball on the outer edge, and it's 1-1. Line down the left field line. That's going to go into the corner, and that'll bring in a run. Roden comes in to score. Bassitt heads for second. He's in stand. Huascar Brazoban will try and pick him up. 2-0 Jays in the 6th. We'll be right back. Base hit in the last inning. And Brazoban quickly ahead of him 0-2. The deal. 0-2 coming to Guerrero. And it's lined to center. Coming on is Siri. And he makes the catch to retire the side. He's off in the home 6th. 2-0 Toronto. First pitch splitter in for a strike. 0-1. Lindor led off the first inning with a double against Bassitt. Flied out in the 3rd. Mets have had just 3 hits tonight. They had just 4 yesterday, and the curveball bounced to second down to Anías Jimenez, and he makes the play on Lindor, the guy. He's gotten Soto on a fly ball and a strikeout. And he gets first pitch slider in for a strike. In the Toronto bullpen, Bassitt, as we mentioned, threw a hit softly to shortstop. In comes Bichette to grab it and throws out. Pete Alonso has 1 victory tonight. 29. Indiana State. Another slow curve outside. It's 3-1 to Alonso. 3-2. Fly ball right field. Springer coming toward the line. And no runs and 3 hits. We're now in the 7th. Fastball runs inside. 2-0. Of his tenure with the Mets last year. 44 bombs last year. Here finished dead last in the AL East. That's up the middle, and Santander finds a hole for a base hit. See a lot of players in the field keeping their bare hand in their back pocket. I'm just wondering if it messes up your rhythm in terms of your pre. Fly ball along the left field line. A long run for Nimmo. Lovely though, yes, this time of year. Fly ball out to right center field. Back goes Soto. And step onto the warning track to make the catch to retire him. That she and Pete are expecting their first child.
The difference to the child announcement, just LGM.
Kirk hits one down to 3rd. Vientos backing off, gets the out at 2nd. Relay by Beatty and scooped out by a lot. But it does appear as though the Mets are going to get the double play out of this.
Yeah, that's an out. Run off the field. And once they see it on replay.
The call is overturned. The runner's out.
So the Mets win the challenge, and that ends the inning. Pitches as we start the bottom of the 7th. And Nimmo rolls over one to second base. 1 pitch and 1 out for Bassitt, who just keeps. You'd say he's gotten the hardest parts of the cycle done. Only problem is 9 strikeouts. Winker takes that cutter inside. 2 balls and a strike. Left-hand batters. And that was poked to the left side. Charging as Bichette, throwing on the run, and he got him 2 down. When do you start to get concerned about Mark Vientos?
The ballpark or at these at bats.
And he lines one into left field for a base hit to snap an 0 for 17 stretch. No worry necessary.
Exactly.
92 pitches, and he's coming out of the game. So after 6 innings,
The matchup Schneider wanted against Beatty.
Beatty struck out looking twice against Bat, and then they re-signed him when the season was over. Fouled at the plate on the curveball, and it's 0-2.
We really love you, but we want to try to get a piece for you.
Dos at first with 2 down. And Beatty cracks one into right field for a base hit. The end runs on, and he takes low and away with a sinker. Ball 1. Brendan Little is up in the bullpen, but Garcia's got to face this batter in 1 more, so he would be ready.
Power.
And he takes it high, ball 4, and that loads him up. And now Sanger is being called back to 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Marte is 1 for 2 in his career against Jimmy Garcia. It's down 2-0 in the 7th. And now the pinch hitter Marte. And he takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 2 coming, and he hits a weak ground ball. Garcia will take it himself, and that in the Arctic climes. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2 to Will Wagner.
Gary's seen too many Albert Brooks.
That sweat was a little over the top in that movie. 2-2 to Wagner. Tonight, and he hits one foul off the first base line. Like they're going to beat the Braves tonight. They're up 4-0 in the 9th. That's pulled down toward first. Nice diving stop by Alonso from his knees. He hits Brazoban in time. And he pops one up into shallow right. On comes Soto. Calls off Beatty. Side retired. Brazoban goes 2 1/3. Mets come up in the bottom of the 8th. Down 2 roundabout right-handed for the first time tonight. It's only had 3 right-handed at bats so far this year. Lefty. I mean, they tried it yesterday with the other left-handed reliever, Mason Fluharty, and he gave up. And Lindor takes a pitch, and it's ball 4, and the Mets will get the tying run to bat with Soto. Run at the plate, and he takes it down. That's 5 straight out of the strike zone from Little.
I think you got to make him throw a strike.
7 games for New York. Looking to get on base for the first time tonight, and Little misses again with the sinker, and it's 2-0. 2 left-hand hitters with Nimmo and Winker. So it really makes you wonder why they've got the side-arming righty up in the bullpen.
Well, just if Little just
2-0 to Soto. Lindor at first and nobody out, and he checks his swing, takes a cutter for a strike to Blue Jays, and knee-high sinker for a strike, and now it's 2-2. So he's little. And Soto punches one toward the middle. Base hit. Lindor to second. He'll pull in there. Soto didn't get much of it, but he was scoring position.
the ball was a sinker and it ran in on his hands, but still strong enough. And his teammates marvel at how strong he is to muscle that to center.
Mets are over. And Pete with a check swing. He went around on the curveball. After all those sink, nobody out. And the curveball sits outside. Hard to right field. Lindor dancing off second, drawing 1-2 coming. In the dirt with a curveball, and now it's 2-2. So he threw a really 2 coming. And Pete goes down swinging on the curveball for the first out. So Alonso is walking a single, strikes out Alonso, and now he'll face Nimmo, who's 0 for 3 now. Nimmo cracks one to center field, chasing Straw back, and Straw makes the catch, tagging at second. Lindor trying to change that up. And he fouls off Little's first sinker, 0-1. 2 out. 8th inning, 2-0 Toronto. And Winker tries to hold the swing on the curveball in the dirt, and he stopped it in time. That may change one of these days.
Yeah, full interpretation, maybe with ABS.
Well, they're starting to use the technology to try and deflate. And he swings and misses at the curveball, and now it's 1-2. Jesse. And Winker drives one out to right field. Back goes Springer to the warning track, and he can't get it. It bounces away. In to score is Lindor. Soto scores to tie the game. Winker heads for third. He'll have his second triple of the night. Jesse Winker inside the park home run, but he is shaken. Jesse Winker had not had a triple since 2021. He's now got two
up against the fence, trying to make a miraculous catch. Face plant as well. And by the time we started this game in the first inning, Gary, talking about how difficult it was going to be on the outfielders all night long.
3rd and 2 out.
He had career highs in almost every category for the Blue Jays last year.
Time up. And takes the first slider outside from Sandlin, ball 1.
My apologies, I saw Sandlin, of course, with the Guardians.
With the Mets having tied the game here in the 8th. 1-1 to Vientos. And Marco.
Usually guys that throw from the side, you have to protect against that sinking fastball in on your hands, but Sandlin doesn't throw that.
Winker not the most likely candidate. And Vientos goes down swinging on the splitter by Marlins and through a scoreless inning with some help from Luis Torrens.
His 3rd appearance so far in the season, a save in Houston. But
with a walk, a single, and a double, he has scored both Toronto runs. And he punched yet to hit his first big league home run. And he checks his swing on the slider, but he went around, and it's 1-2. It's 2 runs, 7 hits. And Rodden takes a fastball on the inside corner, strike 3 call. After double, he's driven on a run tonight. And Bassitt takes fastball inside for ball 1. Diaz behind on Bassitt, 2-0. And he blows a fastball by him on the inner side. And he punches one to right field for a base hit. So Bichett's got his 3rd hit of the night. And the Jays have the go-ahead running. And the slider misses for ball 1.
That is the pitch he's on right now.
So that's 2 disengagements by maybe a half a step, maybe 2. And the fastball inside to Guerrero, and for the 2nd straight hitter, Diaz gunned down Griffin Conine. Slider hit back toward the mound under the glove of Diaz, and everybody's going to be safe. Diaz unable to make the backhand play, and Guerrero's got it in tonight, 1 for 3. Santander's only had 1 career at bat against Diaz, and that was a strikeout. At first with 1 out. And Santander takes a fastball in the inner half, 0-1. 1-1. And Santander goes after the slider, goes down to a knee, 1-2. With the slider, and he fouled it off.
Remember Santander's hit.
Signature moment with his new team. Santander down on strikes. And walk tonight, 1 for 3. And that one sails away from Diaz, ball 1. Jimenez goes after a slider. And a look to first by Torren. 1-1 to Jimenez. And he flies one foul down the left side. And now Diaz ahead 1-2. 2 on, 2 out. 1-2 coming. Fly ball foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 to Jimenez. And it goes to the backstop, and the runners will move up. Alejandro Kirk would be next. Struck him out. Got him with a slider. Diaz bends but does not. Who got the last out in the 8th stays on to face Brett Beatty to start the 9th. And he gets. That's topped foul. 0-2. That's where held in check. Beatty takes it back to a slider that misses. 1-2. 1-2 from Sandlin. That's up and away. A fastball. And he tops one on the right side. Jimenez in to grab it. 1 out. And Siri takes fastball away for ball one. Siri has one career at bat against Nick Sandlin, and he hit a home run. And Siri takes a slider for a strike, 2-1. And that's low and in, 3-1. 3-1 to Jose Siri. And that slider inside, ball four. And the Mets have the potential winning run aboard with the speed. Siri a big lead, and he draws a throw.
Well, usually the guys that throw sidearm.
He's got a big lead, does not go, and it goes to the backstop, and that'll get Siri down to second. So Sandlin throws the wild pitch, and ends. Lindor on deck. And a good slider there gets a swinging strike, 1-1.
Well, we've already, with Jimenez holding Siri close to second base.
Renz. And that's up and away. Now it's 3-1. 3-1 coming. And Torrens lines it into left field. Falling fast. Ronan has to play it on a hop. And Siri will be held at third.
End of the bat on the slider by Torrens, which made it a more difficult read for Siri. He didn't know how long it was going to stay in the air.
Double and a walk tonight. Siri the winning run at third. Torrens at first, 1 out. And Lindor gets a breaking ball and drills it to right center. Over comes the center fielder Straw. Tagging is Siri. He comes in to score. And the Mets have a walk-off win at Citi Field. Lindor wastes no time. Jumps on a first pitch breaking ball and lines a sacrifice fly. The Mets win it 3-2. They've taken the first 2 games of this series. They've won 3 in a row. Come from behind fashion.